and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Kate, your host for today, and I'm joined by three of our powerhouses. We've got Peter, Tam, and Rick. Peter, as most of you know, is our CTO, where Tam is our field CTO, working very closely with our prospects and customers. And we have Rick joining us, who works on product marketing. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Good to be here.
Yes, happy to
Thanks for
have
having
you
me again, Kate.
I always love to have this group. Such a good group, good bunch of people to look at while we're talking. So today's topic is, we're very excited to talk about the total economic impact here at Digi-Bee. We worked with a company called Forrester that many of our listeners are familiar with to help design a study for us that took the perspectives of many of our customers and came up with a composite of our ideal customer and what they are seeing as a result. And what we love about these types of reports, not only working with the team at Forrester, but also creating an unbiased view of what the software that we have built and Peter has been instrumental in building and founding has resulted in for our customers. Because we, of course, hear and see many of those exciting opportunities that our customers are delivering on every day, but we want to share that with our prospects. And so today's opportunity is really to talk about how Digi-Bee has had an impact. And Rick, I'm going to start with you. So Rick, I think from your perspective, thinking about tying what our product is doing from our customers, as well as what the market wants to hear about how that story is told. What did you find most interesting, or what can you highlight out of the report in terms of some of the things that you were seeing?
Sure. So the thing that leaps off the page when you read the report from our perspective is, we talk a lot about speed to value and what we bring to customers in terms of their integration strategies. And this, the composite customer from the interviews, the number one challenge that they came across with was development teams not being able to deliver projects on time, which is obviously something that we can help with. But when you go through the report, all of the sort of sections of data sort of talk back from the customers in terms of how we sort of classify that speed to value. And, the examples of that, it's both speed and value, obviously. But things like the payback time being less than 6 months. So you invest in Digi-Bee and it pays for itself in less than half of a year. The efficiency in building integrations. So, there's, I think it was it took half of the amount of hours for these developers to build integrations than their previous methods of doing so. And then in the second year, that time split in half again. So there's tons of stats like that in terms of how much more efficient developers can be, how you can save money in terms of staffing and training and hiring junior folks and that sort of thing, less time on maintenance. So where we're sort of in this place where we're enabling customers to develop more quickly and sort of reassign their IT talent to sort of bigger projects and not worrying so much about integration, but being able to build and innovate and be ready for what's next for their business. I think that the report does a phenomenal job of sort of illustrating all of those points in a very detailed data-centric way.
I love that, because I think one of the things we talk about often on this podcast, and Peter and Tam have certainly been privy to these conversations and in some cases driving it, is that you don't want to buy tools that you have to work around. You want to buy tools that do the work for you and work with you to get that done. And we were certainly encouraged. I mean, it's a little bit of eating your own dog food and drinking the Kool-Aid if you subscribe to those methodologies. But we're so happy to have seen that, yes, we talk about driving value to our customers, but Rick, I mean, the payback period is a big one. The cost savings on developers. As a startup and a scale up here at DigiBee, we're always looking for those efficiencies. So how can we make sure that the work that we're doing is getting done as efficiently as possible? And Peter, I think it's interesting to hear your perspective because you've obviously been the leader of the captain of the ship, if you will, in terms of developing and launching new features and functionality on the platform. What were some of the things, or what was one thing that jumped out for you in the report?
Great, Kate. Great question. So yeah, and what really stood out to me, we could talk the whole day about all the metrics that the report generated, and of course we're inviting people to look into that. But what really stood out to me are the customer feedback, right? What the customer told us when they were interviewed, right? And for example, one that really resonated to me and talked back to what we decided to build 5 years ago was really reducing the effort for managing this complexity, right? So one customer told us that they reduced from 300 hours to build integrations to less than 60, So take a look at that reduction and imagine how many other things can be done with that amount of hours being returned back to these people so they can, focus on new features, focus on their own problems that they are solving, right? So that resonated a lot to me because that's all about what DigiBee was built for, right? We are here to give that productivity back, to give a hand to these people, which are already overwhelmed, are doing a lot, especially on the economy we are today, right? Where you need to do more with less. So that resonated too much because, come on, we are giving that time back. We are helping them out. The platform is really working with these people so they can focus on new things, so they can deliver the next big thing that will change the game for their company. So I always love hearing for these feedback from customers and showing that we are on the right direction.
And I think one of the things that I would add for that quote is they're doing this, and you'll read this in the report, they're doing the types of integrations that are the more complex, critical integrations that are keeping systems up and running, handling large amounts of data. Depending on time of year, we're talking about number of sales, number of visits. Maybe there's something happening in retail or economically that's driving impact to our business. And so as we think about the ability to do more with less and the ability to be more efficient, that stat absolutely jumped out to us because it quantified what we were hearing from all of our customers in a way that was very digestible. Tam, I want to bring it over to you because being out in the field all the time with some of these, technology leaders, I mean, you and Peter have some really great conversations, but when you're talking about the impact of having this type of information, what is the true result of having a total economic impact report or even having access to some of the data that is shown in a report like this?
Yeah, as today, buyers, especially in the enterprise software space, are overwhelmed and inundated with different solutions that are promising different features or functionalities. And it's really excellent to have a reputation or a third-party analyst group with a reputation like Forrester does to be able to come in and validate a lot of the messaging and a lot of the things that we're sharing, the goodness that our customers do. And validating that this is correct. The outcomes that we're saying that we achieve for our customers is accurate, and in some cases more than we're even advertising. And so to hear that we are truly focusing in on the developers, and then getting an outcome of saving so much developer productivity, or the fact that we say we can coexist with other solutions, but then customers validating to Forrester that we can do these things and there's no need to rip and replace, and we can coexist alongside. It's just validating a lot of the different pieces of the vision that Peter and the founders and the team have come up with when starting this, validating that it is actually achieving the outcomes that we say it is. And instead of just taking our word for it, you can now take, a leading industry analyst, their word for it based on the research that they've done. And so it's just really validating. It's an exciting opportunity for us to be able to share some of this information with prospective buyers, because again, as Peter was mentioning, everyone needs to be able to do more with less. And we're not selling features and functionalities that we're releasing on a constant, agile basis. It's more about selling the outcomes. And this report validates the outcomes that we're able to achieve. And that's also why it's really exciting, because we're going to need to accelerate the delivery of new digital experiences as we move forward. And the only way to do that is to increase productivity. And a lot of our largest customers don't even call us an EIPaaS solution. We're an integration platform, yes, but we're ultimately delivering IT productivity, developer productivity, and we just happen to do that by utilizing a product that helps assist with the full lifecycle of integration. So when we set out on ambitious goals to be the developer's choice for building out integrations, this shows that we're accomplishing those outcomes, we're delivering on that value, and we're helping customers unlock even greater experiences that they weren't able to accomplish without us on the timelines that they're able to accomplish without us. So the skills gap is real when it comes to building out these experiences in this modern age. And our report shares a lot of insights around how you're able to take existing resources, existing teams, and the value that you can get out of helping them embrace new modern technologies and get over some of those kind of skills gaps and hurdles. And it's just really awesome to as we set out on our mission, that there won't be a DigiB developer. That goes counter to our goals. You're just a developer, and you're able to build these complex integrations at scale. And so it's just awesome to have this kind of validation. And there's a lot of really interesting insights that even shocked me on how much value our customers are getting out of it. So I definitely encourage anyone to read it.
Well said on so many of those points to all three of you. Please feel free to go and download the report. We want all of our prospects, customers, partners to know about that information. Very well said from all of you. Like I mentioned, we're so thrilled to be seeing more of this. And I think we'll take a deeper dive in future podcast episodes around what our customers really think and hear some of those quotes from the customers themselves. So stay tuned for more. But thanks for joining us, and thanks Peter, Rick, and Tam.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.